Hello everyone and welcome back to Keeping Up with the Joneses. And today we have another special list for you. Our baby is now about 3 months old and we wanted to go through some of the items that we wouldn't personally buy again.
Yes, and we're not saying don't buy these items, they just didn't really work for us this time around.
Exactly, and something against, well, with the exception of maybe one, nothing against a specific brand. It's more about that style of products we just don't think we ever need in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
So with that, let's start with item number 1. So the first item on our list, we have covers for the change table.
Such a mistake.
And when we brought our baby home, we had this beautiful cover on the change table. And I'll just peel it up a little bit here so you can see. This material here is very easy to clean, but also very slippery and a little bit chilly if you have a bit of a chill in the room. And that's why you have the baby cover.
And I remember doing so much research, finding one that fit our change table specifically. And we took it off within the first couple of days.
So this is a Munchkin style, or a Munchkin change table. And we had this on, maybe it was about a week. If that. And within the first couple of days, what you'll notice with a newborn is their poop, well, you have the meconium poop, which is kind of sticky.
Yeah.
Once that's gone, the poop is very liquidy. It just kind of pours out. And you're going to have blowouts. You're going to have them pooping while you're changing them.
If you have a boy, you're going to get pee everywhere.
Everywhere. On your walls, on yourself, and on your cover. And you think, the cover makes it, you can peel it off, throw it in the wash. You'll be washing it 4 times a week. What's the point?
We had 2 of them and they were both in the wash in the same day.
And that was it. And that's when we decided we're not putting it back on again. So what? Yes, you want to avoid your baby getting cold. Your baby might cry. But what we learned is they kind of just adjust to it.
Yeah.
For the first few weeks, they're going to get a little bit fussy. They're going to get wide-eyed when you put them down because it's chilly. But you soothe them, you change them, and they just get used to it. And then what you'll find after a few weeks is they don't really care.
No.
So for us, this is something we would never buy again. We'd never use again. This is in a bin downstairs. We have to pull it out for this video. And save yourself the money, save yourself the hassle, and don't
get
it.
it. Do not get it. All right, so the next item that I probably wouldn't get again is a plug-in pump. The Spectra is amazing, don't get me wrong, but I exclusively pump, so having a pump that I can use around the house, hands-free, has been critical.
Yeah.
I used this for 6 weeks, and I lug this thing from the bedroom to the nursery, downstairs, to the kitchen.
We had
everywhere.
We had a cord going over our couch.
Everywhere.
So
this thing was everywhere. And the battery doesn't work. I was given this one. So the battery's fried, which means it always needs to be plugged in. Not only that, there's a million pieces to clean as well. So between having this and my hands-free pump, it was just too much to clean, too much to lug around. So I ended up going with hands-free pumps, which has been a game changer, especially for someone that exclusively pumps. This may work really well for someone who maybe pumps like once or twice in the day or whatever it may be. But for me, I would not do this one again.
And so to clarify, this is like they call this almost hospital grade pump.
It's an amazing pump.
The quality is top notch. And you can get plenty of parts for it.
Yeah.
All that stuff is great. It's just the convenience factor isn't really there.
No.
Especially if you have to pump multiple times a day.
And for me, because I exclusively pump, I'm pumping in the car. I pumped at the Toronto Zoo, downtown Toronto. I would not be lugging this thing around with me. It's quite heavy.
It's quite heavy.
Heavy.
Number 2, breast pump.
Boom.
And number 3 on our list, we have specifically the Philips Avent bottles. And so this is the one example where I think the brand does matter. And if you really think about it, if you've seen other videos of parents using bottles, what brands do you see?
Dr. Brown.
Typically Dr. Brown's, and there's a reason for that. So we started off with these bottles. I believe they may have been gifted to us or part of a pack.
Yeah, and they fit in our sterilizer well. They were nice and small for the newborn stage. We had so many of them.
And they fit, funny enough, they fit onto the Spectra perfectly.
Yes.
So we had a ton of these. And the biggest problem we had, yes, our baby was gassy and he had some reflux. So not having they call it the anti-colic, but what it really does is help to manage the amount of airflow going through the bottle. So not having that insert was probably strike 1. Strike 2 is the nipple itself. And I'm going to pop this off and you won't be able to tell, but there's little holes in the top there. What we found, and I don't know what it is, but what we found is that we could not get enough flow out of these. So we started off with the size 1s, which is what it tells you to start off with.
Yes.
Then the 2s, then the 3s, all within the first month of our baby being born. And
he couldn't get anything
he
out.
couldn't get anything out of it.
Nothing.
Nothing
Even
out of
Darnell
it.
tried. Remember? You tried?
Okay, so I put water in it.
Yeah, sorry, not breast milk. You
I put water
in
in it. So I was like, do they work? Like, is there anything coming out? And it took a ton of force to get out of these. We bought so many different nipples, different sizes, trying to make it work, and it just wouldn't work.
Never
So we
worked.
ended up just using it with these, just with the caps as just
For storage.
just milk holders for the fridge or whatever. And then eventually, as he started to drink more and more and more, so having these little ones just didn't make any sense. And we eventually had to just retire them all together.
They're all in a box in the basement.
We have a
Brand
lot of them. So we would highly recommend, again, not necessarily a shot at Philips. Philips makes a ton of great products, but for whatever reason, these specific nipples,
Suck.
they just...
Sorry.
Well, no, they don't suck. That's the problem. You couldn't get anything out of them. And we have now, we're exclusively on Dr. Brown's. We hear that Nuke makes some good ones. Medela makes some good ones. We haven't tried those ones, so we can't tell you. But for Philips specifically, we would steer away from these.
So item number 4 that we wouldn't buy again is the Love to Dream Swaddle. This thing was recommended by so many friends, so many people online. The reason we got it is because our baby was swaddled and he just kept trying to break out of the swaddle. So we figured, oh, it's not working. Let's jump the gun and buy something that does work.
This was early on, too.
Very
the first week or two.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, he probably wants his arms above his head because that's how he was in the womb, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we put him in it. It worked well for one night. And then after that, he flailed like a fish for hours on end in it, and we never used it again. This is another product that's brand new, only used a couple times, very expensive if you buy it brand new. If you do want to try it, highly suggest checking Facebook Marketplace first.
Yeah.
But I would not buy this brand new.
And that's kind of, for us, this was almost like a lesson in patience and perseverance.
Yes.
Because once we went back to the swaddle,
It was a dream. It was a dream.
yeah, he fought it a couple nights,
Yeah.
and then it just worked. And we kind of found a rhythm with him and how to swaddle, how tight to swaddle him.
Yeah.
And it just really, really works. So to Megan's point, there's nothing wrong with trying other options. This works for a lot of people, but like she said, buy it used, save yourself some money,
sure.
and make sure you give every option a couple of nights, a few nights first before you
jump the
gun
gun
to something different. The swaddles work for the vast majority of people, and there's a reason for that, and we just needed to stick it out a little bit longer.
We literally ran to Babies R Us to get this
We
thing.
did. Yes, we
For
did.
it to just not
Yes,
work.
we did. And it didn't
We were
work.
desperate, and we totally get it. As new parents, when you are sleep deprived, you are willing to try anything. So nothing wrong with trying it. It just didn't work for us.
Didn't work for us. And the last item on our list, number 5, is the Ergo Baby newborn carrier. And again, caveat, nothing against Ergo Baby. We have the infant carriers, and
Amazing.
they're phenomenal. They're phenomenal. But specifically the newborn carrier, we really, really struggled with. So I'm gonna bring the picture here. If you can see the image there, you can see the baby's head poking out the top. And this could perhaps be something to do with smaller babies. So our baby was on the smaller end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But when I put him in it, his head was
Like
way
down
down here. And what it led to was this almost feeling like claustrophobia, where he's like pressed up against me.
Yeah.
He's hot. It's hard to breathe.
He's panicking.
He's panicking. He can't see around. And yes, he's little. He can't really see past his, 2 inches from his face anyways. But it just led to more discomfort for him.
It did not look like this.
It did not
needless
look like
to
that. He
say.
fell asleep in it. So I used it maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Twice I got him to fall asleep, but I had to constantly be moving, and he was a furnace because he was trapped in this little ball.
He's sweating in it.
And I was a furnace, and it after that, it just didn't really work out. So, it might work for you. It might work if you have a little bit of a bigger baby who can get their head out of the top. It's still supporting their head, right? Because they are young. But I don't think I'd ever go down this path again.
No, me either.
We use the infant ones now, and it works great. He can get his head out the top. He can look around. His arms come out the side. It's great. But the newborn one just didn't work out for us.
No.
And that's it. That's our list.
Yeah. Let us know if there's other products that you guys didn't end up using in the newborn stage.
Or if you found these ones to actually be useful for you, we'd love to hear the use case that really worked for you.
Yeah.
And we tried to think of other items that just didn't work out for us. And for the most part, the things we've had, they've worked.
Used everything,
We've
which
used
has been
everything.
amazing.
Yeah.
To only have 5 items that didn't work is a win.
I totally agree. And that's it for us. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.